Bloomers and friends. Rev Kev back from San Anselmo in school. Did you miss me? I know that you had some good bloom tubes that Russ produced, and I got some good feedback from them, and I really appreciate Russ being able to see us through the times when I'm gone, and maybe actually we ought to think about mixing it up a little bit with variety in the future. Maybe in the year to come we can talk about that as something where Russ can do some independent work, and we slot those in between the kinds of times when I'm talking with you. But I'm glad to be with you today. This Sunday coming up is an important one in our church, in the sense that we have two great celebrations to be keeping in mind. One is it's the 60th anniversary of the United Church of Christ. The church was formed in 1957 by the coming together of four historic Protestant denominations that had earlier than that come together themselves to form two. And so the Congregational Christian Church and the Evangelical and Reformed Church came together to form the United Church of Christ in 1957. We were lucky to have several of us attend the 50th anniversary of the United Church of Christ, the big celebration that was out in Hartford, Connecticut, several years ago, well actually 10 years ago, and that was also the time when we heard Barack Obama speak before he was a candidate for president, and we also heard Bill Moyers speak. And my little sidelight on that is the Bill Moyers speech was more interesting than Barack Obama's speech. But that's all aside. The United Church of Christ is our home as a denomination, and we're happy to be celebrating that 60th anniversary this Sunday. But it's also the 48th anniversary of the Stonewall riots in New York, which are considered to be the beginning of the gay rights movement, the catalyst that really made it take off. There had been riots in San Francisco the year before, but what seemed to really be the catalyst and make things happen were the Stonewall riots in New York. Then they started at Sunday night when there was a police raid in the Stonewall Tavern there on Christopher Street, and basically it was a revolt by the drag queens, and they revolted against the police and really caused a great scurry. And other people joined in, and it became something that stretched into much later on that Sunday. And soon after that was the first Pride March, and it was basically people saying, you can't be treating us, actually you can't be mistreating us in the same way you have been. There were just assumptions that were going on that you could treat the gay people, the drag queens, very poorly, and throw people in jail just for being who they were, or for wanting to dance with each other, or simply for wanting to look at each other across a bar room. You could put people in jail for that. That seems weird now in our life to think that that might have been the case. But the thing about it is that now people get put in jail for various things that we think might be weird as well, whether it's for immigration aspects or for other kinds of things that are happening in our society. There are times when people's civil rights are being abused by systems that can simply put people in jail. So one of the things that we do as a result of this time together is that we understand that the movement of gay rights movement is not only for gay rights, although that's been something that has grown and flourished over the years, but it's also for all human rights. And we want to be supportive of human rights in our community, in our state, in our country, and around the globe. And that basically is what we come together to celebrate when we understand that we recognize something like the National Gay Rights Sunday, which is the last Sunday of June every year. So our church is one that stands up for justice. When we have an understanding of celebrating the 60th anniversary of our United Church of Christ, let's remember that the United Church of Christ, even in its predecessor denominations always stood for justice. And let us also know that as we celebrate the LGBTQ Pride Sunday around the nation this week, we're also standing for justice as well. And as a congregation, we have in our mission that we will agitate for God's peace and justice in our communities and around the globe. We do that because we have the love of Christ with us, and we know it's for us, and we offer it to others as well, equally. So we hope to see you on Sunday with us. If you're not able to be with us in body, please be with us in spirit, and as always, please keep us in your prayers.